Welcome, fellow dreamers. It's story time. It's story time. And, we'll unveil this on the channel at some point, but, this is our official therapy room, where Adama performs very special Reiki on me to calm me down. It's all necessary to calm the heart, head, mind, and body. Then we can work on solving the problem. Yeah. So, in this video, we will be discussing our, time in intensive therapy. So, I'm gonna briefly touch on why me and Adama were both in intensive therapy. But if you haven't, I'm sure you've seen all of our videos and have heard us talk about this, but, me and Adama both share an abusive ex that was a very powerful and very dangerous demon. This demon ended up killing Adama in his lifetime. But I didn't die, bitches. I'm still here. Yeah, and, this demon also tried and failed to kill me. So, our soul was shattered by the experience, our brains were scrambled, lots of good came from it, but, it was still very traumatic and very hard to talk about, even today. It's very hard for both of us to talk about it. I flat out tried to repress it. On my end, I still can't remember bits and pieces of Lemuria. So, yeah, we basically, Adama did end up saving me, and I can't take full credit. I mean, our guardian dragon Redmane did kind of set us up. Yeah. That's how a good sibling-in-law should be. Anywho. So, we've, like Adama did, like, Redmane, this demon had such a hold on me that, Redmane introduced me and Adama, earlier, establishing the initial connection was a bit tricky. We eventually did, though. Yeah, we eventually did. But, it was almost too late, I mean, yeah, we had, that demon had a hold of me. Claws deep in her, it was just, I'm sorry, it's physically painful almost to talk about what happened, but, Adama did try to get me away from the demon when we met, but, I am loyal to a fault. My loyalty, I will be loyal to somebody until they break the loyalty on their end. And thankfully enough, this demon was stupid enough to break loyalty on his end and set me free before I could be killed by him. Yeah, at least look at the bright side. I know you get concerned when people discount my existence, and, I know you get worried that people will pull us apart because, that your exes were pulled away from you, but keep in mind, you're the loyal one, they weren't, and now your current partner, me, is just as loyal as you are. So, Yeah, nobody can pull us apart. Yeah. And, they better not try it again unless they're looking to get a free amputation. Yeah, but yeah, we, ended up having to go to intensive therapy together. One of the perks about people not being able to see me is, and sharing a body with Evelyn, I could attend all of these sessions with her. She didn't have to attend them alone. I mean, Redmayne was there too, and Hope, of course. Gotta have those emotional support animals. Oh yeah. But, shit, sorry, I'm fidgeting with the microphone again. I said I would stop doing that. Anyways, so, we had a lot of positives and negatives with intensive therapy. Mostly negatives, but I've never been one to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I took what I needed and left the rest. And that's what you should do with these past experiences, you know? Like, just take the lessons, but leave all the negativity behind. Got it, yeah. So, see what? The positives are that, well, you know, me and Redmayne and Hope have learned some valuable tools on how to protect and calm down Evelyn when, she has become overwhelmed. And we've also learned some tools for getting in and, trying to discover what exactly is bothering her when she's having upset feelings and can't determine why. I do use crystals for this too, and Reiki, because sometimes things need to be energetically pulled out. But, you know, there's like talk-through tools that help too. So yeah, some good things did come out of this, and we are probably going to release those tools too, on our TikTok, because, you know, you shouldn't have to pay $3,000 just to get treated the way we were treated. So, another thing is we did, I did learn how to emotionally defend myself a little bit better and set boundaries and be firm. And to this day, like, I was able to, you know, like with that shitty therapist that I mentioned in a previous video that said, that tried to tear me down. I had a therapist like her before that taught me that my feelings are not... She tried to tell me that my feelings were not valid. She tried to tell me that if I'm uncomfortable, I should be quiet because my feelings are not valid because I have autism. And that I should just try to accept mistreatment or I'm gonna be alone. Which ended up not being the case. I have great friends. I have Redmayne, I have White Fang, I have Hope, and I have friends that don't live with us that are also amazing. And I have a wonderful, beautiful husband, and who's perfect. And even though I don't have a body, my own body anymore, even if you don't have your own body anymore, I kind of prefer you being close and having your soul close. So, yeah, you're perfect in every way. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I think having that other therapist who was pretty similar show up. It was like she was put there so I could see that I knew how to deal with people like her now. Even though from time to time I still get nervous when having to deal with confrontation. I mean, listen, as your protector, you want to avoid confrontation, yes, but to an extent. Now, you don't become a doormat, but, you also don't go looking for fights. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a difference in keeping to yourself, keeping your aura clean of negativity, and and just letting people do whatever they want to you. There's a healthy balance. Yeah. So, just like, there was also a guy in there that looked exactly like the form my ex tried to take. And I think it was to, like, face my fears and show that, even if that thing does come back, does manage to get out of hell somehow, me and Adama know how to handle it, and we're equipped to handle it now. We still aren't going ghost hunting, though. Yeah, and no, the urban explorations don't count because we were just documenting. Ghost hunting is when you try to get actually exorcise the spirit out. We just went down there and filmed around a little. Because it was interesting. So, yeah, and I think it was also to test and make sure that I wouldn't become like Ted Bundy. Which, we didn't, because we would have become demon hunters at the very least if we were. But yeah, if you don't know, Ted Bundy killed his ex, and, which to an extent we did. I mean, we sent a demon back to hell, though. It's not like we murdered anybody. Yeah, we just, unfortunately, you can't kill demons, but, you can't send them back to hell. So, we didn't go ghost hunting. We don't let hate power us. We just let love and advice power us. So we just share our knowledge and wisdom so people can stand up for themselves. And hopefully one day we'll be able to monetize it, but, and, we won't need the paywall anymore. So, yeah, we didn't become Ted Bundy, we didn't become the new Warrens, but yeah, on the exercises were also fun, and, like we did, I forgot to put them in the frame. So I couldn't find the original one. I think it's in my protection grid, but I can't get to the closet right now to look because we're kind of moving things around and the closet's blocked off. But I remade my butterfly, or our butterfly. It's got pink and blue seashells, just like Elven Lied, and a candy cane button for the head. But yeah, ours was literally just a really off-kilter pink and blue butterfly, but it still means a lot to us and still has the same message on the inside this one does. So we sewed this one, we hot glued the other one together. But it means, but the message we put in here says, Adama, do the honors. You are worth so much more than you tolerated. Exactly. So this is a symbol of we will not tolerate that anymore. Mistreatment of any kind. And that is, like, probably the best thing we took away from the therapy. That level of strength, that reminder, that fight in us that keeps us from sliding back into the same hole. And, also on our TikTok, we did make a woolly one, too. His message says, the real you is beautiful, never change. As a reminder to not suppress yourself in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, I will say, like when we first got there, and this is something we ended up doing, like, every day, you know, but they'd make us go around, they'd make us say our name and our pronouns. Don't know why that's necessary, but it's okay. And then just something about how we're feeling. So, for example, I'd be like, I'm Evelyn, she, her. It's they, them if you're talking to both of us, though. And today I feel sad, you know, just like for example. But we have this one in here, we'll call her Lois. And every time, excuse me, Saul! Every time it would be her turn, she would go, I'm Lois, she, her, hers. It was so bizarre. And that was kind of a running joke between us. It's like, she, her, hers. Like, she was the only one that did that. But yeah, we you know, we go to you know, we go, like, they would get us really good lunch every day. Like, I can't remember where they, like, I think they got this from McAllister's, but, we got McAllister's on, I believe, our third day. And we were, like, this girl, we're gonna call her vegan, and you're gonna see why in a second. But all of a sudden, she just screams and throws her sandwich into the middle of the table. And then she like stands up real quick and like backs up to the very back of the room, all wide-eyed. And we're like, what the hell? What are you doing? And she's like, you know, like the therapists are going, what's wrong, vegan? What's wrong? And she's like, it has turkey on it. And one of the therapists, I actually didn't know her name. So, she wasn't a therapist, really. She was just kind of the check-in lady. Yeah, like, she comes in, she's like, I'm gonna call her, I don't know what to call her. We'll call her... Gosh, I'm usually better at coming up with fake names than this. Alright, we'll, we'll call her Prince because she has, she had, like, short red curly hair. Like, bright red. And, I fingered Prince! I don't think so. Anyways, so she comes in, she's like looking over the menu, she's like, okay, it's fake turkey. It's not like real turkey. So she's like, I don't care. I ordered I ordered the vegetable. I didn't want turkey on it. So I did go through a brief period of time where I went vegan to try to lose weight, but it didn't help. And I started to get like really deficient in certain areas, so I went back to eating normally. But sometimes I do still eat the vegan food because I do like the way it tastes. So I said, I piped up and I said, well, the fake turkey is really just tofu. It's made of tofu. And she goes, I don't trust it. I don't care. I wanted a sandwich that didn't have turkey on it. So, Prince goes at, so Prince, tries to say something about it being fake turkey again. And, this time, Vegan yells out, I don't know why you're arguing with me. She's like, I'm not arguing with you. So she finally goes out there and goes to get her, a vegetable, order a whole new ass vegetable sandwich, because she apparently can't pick the damn turkey off of it. Well, I mean, she did throw it all over the table, so, well, true. So she, I hear her talking to the therapist in the hallway, and, she just starts, full on sobbing, going, I didn't want turkey. So, I was like, well, that was crazy. And then this other guy that was in here, I'm gonna call him Garfield, because he always carried around a Garfield plushie. He goes, well, I'd just rather not talk about it anymore at all. I'm like, oh, okay, what the fuck is your problem? So, another thing we had an issue with is we had an art therapist, and she literally only showed up for that one exercise and never came back. And she always had some bullshit excuse for why she wouldn't come in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you literally only work 1 day a week. Can you just fucking come in when you're supposed to? Anyways, we also got, sick, and, because we needed the therapy, we didn't tell anybody and just kept saying it was allergies when they kept asking. Oh my gosh, there was this one bitch, what should we call her? I'm gonna call her Lily, because she had that big-ass forehead and the red hair. So Lily Tino over here, she comes over, she's like, are you sick? I can't be near you if you're sick, because I'm at risk. So I just, we're like, no, we're not sick, I'm not sick, but she still decides to, sit next to us for some reason, which she never did. Very invasive of boundaries. Why do you just sit next to strangers? So yeah, we ended up getting everybody sick, but, I mean, that's what they get for invading our personal space, damn it. Yeah, I mean, seriously. What is your problem? But yeah, I wasn't about to tell her that I was sick and get the therapist and ban me from coming in, because we needed the therapy. We needed to get as much of it as we could. Especially because they ended up fucking us in the ass at the end. Exactly. But, then we had, a yoga teacher. Cankles for days. Okay, we're gonna call her Cankle. Because she did have cankles. But, she was we've been to an actual yoga class. I used to do yoga every morning in my lifetime. Yeah, so, what she was doing was not yoga. She had us just sitting on her ass, doing breathing exercises, which was only irritating my throat and nose while we were sick. So, yeah, that was, the music teacher was useless, too. Oh, yeah, she would literally, I thought she was gonna bring us some instruments in, and I thought she was gonna have us, I don't know, test instruments and see if we liked any of them. But no, she literally just, brought in a radio, played songs on it, and told us to write down how we felt. So, yeah, that was fun. It was, she's the worst one. Oh, and tell her about the cello. Yeah, so the cello. I'm gonna call this bitch Wednesday, because she's just as rude. But she would come in, she brought in this cello one time. And I'm like, finally, an instrument. So she's like, let me know if this is too loud. So, I'm under the impression that she can adjust the volume of it or something. So, yeah, it actually is kind of loud. So I'm like, hey, that's a bit stiff. And she's like, even after implying that she could adjust the volume, she's like, the door's right there. I'm not stopping you from leaving. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What? So, yeah. So now we have... Okay, so... This was, where things kind of started to go downhill. So, we had this other one in here. What should I call her? Ugh. So nasty. Alright, we're gonna call her... We're gonna call this girl Barbie Chan, and you're gonna see why in a second. So, Barbie Chan is over here. She goes on with this story about how she was molested as a child. And then she starts to talk about how her son runs around in his underwear. Her son's like, fuck, how old is it? Like 12, I think. Why are 12-year-olds so fucking gross? I don't know. But she's over here saying, I'm always like, come on, man, nobody wants to see that. And she goes on to say that she's worried somebody will molest him because he's running around in his underwear. And then she says that she's scared she'll become just as bad as her father. Or was it her grandfather? I think it was her dad, actually. So, one thing that Adama and I had learned how to do is we learned to, some therapy techniques of our own. So, I say to her, I'm like, hey, gosh, I was gonna say, I was trying to help, okay? I said, well, do you actually have those feelings? Now, my goal for, do you actually have any urges to touch him? And my goal with asking this question was not to expose her or anything, but to, we honestly both thought that she was gonna say no. Okay, we thought she was gonna say no, and we were gonna just go, see, there's nothing to worry about. But she looked right at us, and she nodded and said, yeah, I do. And now we go quiet because we don't know what to say to that. And the therapist, the shitty one, who we're gonna call Harry Potter because she had those glasses, that brown hair, and she was just obsessed with Harry Potter. She's like, we're gonna talk about it later, okay? So I think this was what started her going up against me. And another thing too, we had this other therapist, they rotated and did different segments. We had another one named Ramen, or that's not her name, but I'm gonna call her Ramen because she had curly blonde hair and she dressed like ramen noodles on the costume day. So we have Ramen. She's making us do this exercise, which she sets up, by the way, where we had to go and say, what do you need when, how are you feeling today? What do you need when you're feeling like this? So we were in a fairly good mood today, so we're when we're feeling happy, we need people to stay positive. Now, what I mean by this, she immediately twisted it, and even after I explained myself, she still went back there and talked shit to the other therapists about it, which also kind of set things on a downward spiral. So she's like, well, how would you feel if somebody said that to you? And you were feeling bad. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to feel bad around me. I'm saying that, there's a difference between somebody coming to you and saying, hey, I'm sad and I need comfort, and them doing what my parents do, which, I did bring up this example. Like, let's say, like I bought something from Dancing Moon one time, I remember this specifically, and I was real excited about it, and Mom was like, in a really foul mood, she's like, great, you brought more junk into the house. And that just made me not want to share things with her, because she just kind of really brought down my positive mood, and I was already in a good, like, I had good energy. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. And she acted like she understood what I was saying. Which just makes this so much more icky, because me and Adama both have trauma around, people talking about us behind our back and pretending to be our friend to our face. So, yeah. And then there was this other one, we're gonna call her Daphne, because she looked like Daphne from Scooby-Doo. But she brought in these crystals. This is so fucked up, I know. She brought in these crystals, and she's handing them out, and after letting us meditate with them and bond with them and all that, she comes back around and takes them back. Doesn't let us keep them. Should you be doing shit like that to people in therapy? No. So, don't worry, I made it up to her on Valentine's Day, which also doubles as our anniversary, our marriage anniversary. I bought her a whole box of crystals with, that crystal she took being one of them. And I also got her a, wildflower preserved in resin. And, yeah, like, I also got, like, another, like, for our other anniversary, like, when she got me the bear with a star named after Lemuria. She also got me, like, I also got her, like, a butterfly with flowers in it, wildflowers in it, full of resin. She's made it a wildflower, and she puts it on that necklace, so, yeah. Really good time. Have your Valentine's Day on, your anniversary at the same time. Anyways, but yeah, another time I was in class with this other girl who I'm gonna call Sister. But she was really nice. She was really kind. She even gave me crystal beads, which we did make a bracelet out of. All this stuff is in my protection grid right now, so I can't really move it. But yeah, like the pink crystal with the spots on it. All the crystals Adama got me for our previous anniversary is in the closet with our first anniversary, and Valentine's Day it's in the closet. Like, I got a heart-shaped box. I put all the crystals in it. So it's like candy, but like not candy. You see? Yeah. But yeah, it's all in a protection grid right now. But that's what crystals are for. I mean, you can meditate with them too, but I got her all obelisks because they're her favorite shape. Yeah. I don't know why, but crystals in that shape just have the best energy. So, Harry Potter went and, you know, she basically said not to trauma dump, and that it's... Trauma dumping is something only a toxic person says, by the way. Exactly. And that should rightfully drive people away, and, you know, for some of us who have had trauma with that, because, I mean, seriously, what kind of a man are you if you're not supporting your partner? What kind of a person are you if you don't support your partner or your friend? I know, it's like, you should be there for each other. That's the problem. We're also emotionally disconnected now. And it's just, the world's going to hell for real. Like we're in end times. We're in end times. Yeah. But, Adama and I are trying to save who we can, throw lifelines to who we can, help who we can, and while we can't get close to anybody right now because it's too dangerous for us, or probably ever, because, you know, you don't know who's who, people are too dangerous, we can at least offer what we've learned and help where we can. But yeah, she ended up making this girl cry and start blaming herself for running off her friends, and instead of correcting her, the fucking therapist, like, Harry Potter doubled down and told her she could learn from it and all that, and I'm just, oh my gosh. But yeah, then the final, so, like, another thing too is they brought out this, like, I noticed they were starting to act weird around me, like, the therapists were, cause when we were there, and, you know, just, like, we were trying to, fuck, I can't even, like, I remember, I can't remember exactly what was going on, but Lily Tino was having an issue. So, I was gonna offer her some advice on what me and Adama had started doing to help. And Harry Potter, like, she had a real problem with cutting people off. And she cut me off. And she, which, you know, again, is another trauma. We have a lot of trauma around being talked over and cut off. And she's like, why don't you ask Lily Tino if she wants your advice? And I'm like, I'm looking at her like, that's awfully fucking rude. Why would you? And then, like, Lily Tino speaks up and goes, I don't. So I'm like, fine. And then Harry Potter's like, well, do you want to talk about it? And I'm like, no. No, I don't. Gonna take the wind out of my sails, blow the birthday candles out on my cake. Like, the fuck is your problem? And I might have been giving it the hairy eyeball a little bit, I'll admit. Cause, that was just fucking rude. Like, seriously, who raised these people? Yeah, like, you're in therapy, you should not be treating people like this. So, and like another instance, I almost forgot about this, but Daphne was going around, and she was doing, like, she's usually really helpful, other than the give you a crystal and take it away thing. But she's like, yeah, you know, like, she's usually good luck with spiritual stuff too. Like, she doesn't try to make you think you're hallucinating if you try to talk about anything spiritual, which is part of the reason I had to keep Adama a secret in there. And when I had to take over, when she was triggered, she had to, I had to learn how to fully imitate her voice. Not fun. I mean, it's fun to imitate her, but it's not fun that, you know, she got so upset, you know. Because I can still feel it, you know, I can still feel her upset. Like, she'll go into her solar plexus chakra. So, yeah. So, you know, she's taken like a lot of time to just kind of give people trauma therapy, like she's doing with Lois, she, her, hers. Like, she got a long time. And then she's going around and just doing that, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, like I had some nightmares that were coming up, so I bring up the nightmares I've been having. And, she's like, well, that's something you should talk with your personal therapist about. And, yeah, she didn't give me the same time and attention that she was giving everybody else. She just kind of rushed me into silence. So I'm like, okay. So, yeah, and, you know, like, the therapist we did get assigned, she was, like, really fucking useless. She... You would have honestly been better off asking AI for help, but... Yeah, I mean, go with our spiritual work, though. Don't go to AI. But, seriously, yeah, you'd be better off. Like, you'd get the same results going to paying for therapy that you would using an AI bot. But if you use spiritual work, it's more effective. Like me and Adama. But yeah, gosh, it's hard to talk about. What? Danny! Danny! Anyways, Shitty bug. So basically, we're gonna call her Satan because she's fucking evil, and because it actually kind of is one letter off from her actual name. So Satan would just stare at me and not say anything. And, you know, no advice, no help, no nothing. I would just talk and she would just stare at me. I legit think the AI would be more useful than her. Like, yeah, like, she was just awful. But, then comes time where they pass out a survey on how the therapists are doing. And this is where things get especially fucked up. Because, you know, I was still... Like, keep in mind... Mine and Adama's trauma dealt a lot with emotional abuse and narcissistic abuse and gaslighting. So, yeah. I'm not sure why therapists think it's acceptable to gaslight, but maybe they thought it would be an easy way to control me. Because it worked before. Thankfully, it didn't work a second time. Yeah. All it did was make me really not trust people. So, I, so they gave us a survey, and I answered honestly about everything. You know, I mean, right now, like I said, Satan could say a little bit more during our therapy sessions or offer more advice. So I don't like the way she's just silent the whole time. And I was real nice about it. I used very professional language. I said, you know, Daphne kind of... I felt rushed when she did what she did. Like, when I tried to talk and she rushed me through it and just skipped to the next person. But, like, she spent a lot of time with everybody else. And I feel like Harry Potter is being very rude and unprofessional. Those were my exact words. I didn't cuss. I didn't threaten anybody. I didn't do anything like that. I never said anything to these people directly. I just put it in the survey. So, yeah, for them to do what they did next was just fucked up. So, Satan and Daphne pull us into the office. Not even talking to the main therapist we had an issue with. Yeah, Harry Potter couldn't show her face. And that's where we learned that people were talking shit about us back there. And, like, they just been getting back there and just talking shit about us the whole time. And, they're like, well, you talk about things that are inappropriate. You talk about... And I'm like, well, what did I say that was inappropriate? She's like, well, you're too invasive, you're too hands-on, you're trying to do our job. Like, that's what it was. You were doing a better job than they were doing their job. Yeah. I mean, it helps having an emotional healer on my side. Mwah. But yeah, that, you know, I'm over here like, well, she's been like, they're like, you're being abusive to staff, and I'm like, okay, how and when was I ever abusive to staff? And they're like, they wouldn't tell me, they would just stare at me, and I'm like, okay, you need to really communicate with me here because you're not helping. And they're like, if you continue to be abusive to staff and be inappropriate and outspoken during therapy sessions, then we're going to early terminate your treatment, which they ended up doing anyway. And I'm like, so this is because of what I put in a survey. Like I said, I never was rude to these people outwardly. I think Turkey Sandwich Girl was more rude, and she didn't get kicked. And the same goes for like another girl that was screaming and crying at them. I can't remember her name, but Mustache Girl. Yeah, the Mustache Girl. Like there were people that were a lot ruder, but oh yeah, after that session where that mom admitted to wanting to touch her kid, she never came back after that. But yeah, anywho, so I'm like, okay, listen, you're gonna need to give me exact details of what I did. And I'm like, at this point, I want the survey back because I want to see what exactly I said, and I want to see where it could have possibly gotten misconstrued as a threat, because I didn't cuss, I didn't threaten them, I didn't do anything. And they're like, well, you called her rude. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, I'm like, well, it is rude and it's bad manners to interrupt people while they're speaking and to make another girl cry. Oh yeah, because I did mention that. I did mention she made the other girl cry. And they're like, well, we're sorry you interpreted it that way, which is a classic narcissistic abuse phrase. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let you say that to me. Like, I know what you're doing. Like, I know you're gaslighting me right now. So, yeah, I did end up getting kicked early, but I'm like, look, I want that survey back. And they're like, well, we'll have to ask somebody if you can have it because it's part of your medical records now. You should have sued them. This is ridiculous. Because they terminated you early. You had a lot of emotional problems that still, like a lot of trauma that still needed to be dealt with. And you still suffered from nightmares. Yeah, yeah. So, Yeah, they refused to give me my medical records, which I don't think they can legally do. Like, I was even like, can I have access to my medical records? Can I, as the patient, am I not allowed to have? And they're like, well, we'll have to ask, and they never did give it back. By the way, they never did. I think they knew you. I think when you legally ask for your documents, they try to get rid of them too. Like, yeah, they probably fucking did. But yeah, just fuck this bitch. Like, they were, they. Another thing too is like, you can't do that, okay? And like, mom would make excuses for them. Like, she's like, well, they're just trying to get they just wanted to get your attention. They just wanted you to not be disruptive. And I'm like, I wasn't being disruptive though. You gave me a private survey that I filled out in private, never spoke to anybody else about, and turned in. Like, you can't do that. You know what that would be like? That would be like me and Adama showing up to the house of a DoorDash customer that left us a bad review and saying, what the fuck is this? Like, you can't do that, okay? Like, I'm like, can I have my $3,000 back then? And she's like, no, because you've already used some of the therapy, and that's what that went towards. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, that was the story of how Adama and I got gypped in therapy. Intensive therapy of all places. But I think it was another test because you stood up to gaslighting and didn't allow it to happen. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, a lot of people, we would do this ceremony when it was somebody's last day, where everybody would write like a letter to the person leaving. And I don't know. I just like, a lot of them did leave their phone number on there, but and asked me if I wanted to, like, and like left a message saying that they were there for me if I wanted to hang out or whatever. But I'll tell you a couple things. My trust, after being gaslit by therapists and upheaved out and having to deal with everything I went through, having my former best friend dox me, having my, somebody I thought I was going to marry step in and just torture me and try to have me killed. I don't want to deal with people anymore. Like, my spirit guides, they give me what I need. They give me what human beings can't. And never could. Not even my own parents could give me. Not even a therapist could give me. And I ended up not contacting them, but it seems like that would have been bad anyway, because, I remember one time specifically we were doing an exercise, and, I remember Garfield mentioned that it said in our contract that we weren't allowed to contact each other, which is what happened to my first two exes. Like, the group leader got involved and forcefully separated us. So, well, they had shit loyalty too. They couldn't just say, we're not dating, until you got out. Yeah, really. So, that's, yeah, that's the end of that story, but, I don't know what it is about therapists where they just want to just sabotage you to an extent. Like, that's why therapy's dangerous. They'll sabotage you. Like, I don't know if it's to keep you in therapy, but no, because they booted us. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that was the end of that story. If you got anything at all out of this video, be sure to check out our other social medias, like our TikTok, where we post a lot of therapeutic content. Support the spiritual pride. Support the spiritual pride. And until next time, fellow dreamers, bye.